Hi kindergarten friends. I'm going to show you a plant that I love in the garden because if you are walking around and taking a walk in your neighborhood, you might see this plant, and it's a great plant for collecting seeds. So come look at the flower. That's the way you're going to recognize the plant. This is the flower on it. Believe it or not, you can eat these flowers. They're very delicious. They're a little peppery tasting. They're usually more commonly orange, more this color. This one's not alive anymore, but more orange like this. But these particular ones are yellow. You see red also. I always feel like this looks like a butterfly, doesn't it? And it's got this little stick in the back. They're called nasturtiums. Their leaf is completely round. The flower looks like a butterfly. And I feel that they are like the chicken of the plant world because they are sitting on a nest of seeds. And if you find someone who has a nasturtium, you start picking it up, you're going to see the seeds. So I'm going to invite you to look right here on this side. I'm going to pick up the plant like it's sitting on its seeds. And the interesting thing is the seeds look like snails. So, but snails might also live there. Like I can tell this is a little baby snail right here. He is not a seed. But if you come over here, those are the seeds. And if you want to get a good seed, you want to pick it up and squish it. Because if you can squish it and it crunches, there's nothing to plant. If you pick it up and it's hard and it doesn't crunch, you can plant that. I'm going to look in here. Here's one right here. Hard. Here's one right here. It's hard. Sometimes they look green. This time of year I'm not finding any green ones though. That's a crunchy one. That's a crunchy one. That's a crunchy one. So just pick around, look in it. Later in the year when you find them, they're going to be green colored and really round. But these will probably grow. I'm going to take them into the house. Let's go in my house and we're going to talk about seeds. Okay, welcome to my kitchen. I'm going to do a couple different planting activities with you. There are things you can do in your house. I brought in our little seeds that I found from the nasturtiums. They're down here. I happened to be able to find some seeds that were sitting in my house. Now, I've never used these. I know these take a long time to grow, but I have some great sunflower seeds. Those are what I'm going to use so that you can watch me plant seeds. And I'll probably use these guys too. Okay, here's the plan. We're going to do inside planting, and we're going to talk about grocery food that you can replant. The first thing we're going to do though is we're going to plant a seed so that you can see what it looks like when it's growing. The way we're going to do that is in a jar. It has to be see-through because you're going to want to see the roots coming down and you're going to want to see the plant coming out of it. And we're not putting it in soil. Seems like we should be growing it in soil because you've learned that that's what seeds need, right? But what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this paper towel in here. I think Teacher Kelsey showed you that you could use soil to grow things, but she also said you could use cotton balls and you can use paper towel too. It's the easiest thing to find in your house. I'm going to use this for my little bit of a wet tray here. The paper towel has to be a little bit wet. So this is a flower pot I have. I'm going to put a little water on it. So the whole thing is wet. And I'm going to take it and I'm going to put it in this cute little jar. This jar came with some really delicious salsa that I got from Benny once. It's a very short and has a big open part. That helps. I need something not too deep. I'm going to line it. You can see the outside. This is all wet. And you're probably thinking, Teacher Linda, where are the seeds? Well, we're going to put them here and we're going to watch them grow. So let me take a couple of these sunflower seeds. I'll put them out so you can see them. That's what they look like. All different kinds. That's why there's different pictures. Let's take a couple of them and we're going to stick them on the side of the jar. And if we're lucky, in a couple of days, if we keep it kind of wet, these seeds will decide to grow. Do you know what the first thing is that will come out of them? Can you guess? You probably will see some roots. And then you'll see a baby plant come up, which is a seedling. It'll come up first, or a sprout. Maybe put 3 seeds. I'm picking some bigger ones so I can see them. If you want to put seeds all the way around the jar, you can do that. I'll just put 3 right there that you can see really well. That's a great way to watch seeds grow. This is another jar. This one is from yogurt. If you eat this kind of yogurt, it comes with jars. It's a good way to do it. So try a jar. See if you can watch seeds grow that way. And here's another great way to watch them grow. I'm going to take another paper towel. We're going to fold it in half, right? And again, I'm getting it wet. You all know seeds need water, right? That's probably wet enough. We're going to open it up like this. Now, I'm not so sure about these seeds. I am not sure that they will grow. But I do know that they're very tiny. I've seen them before. So let me open it up. This was a Valentine's gift from the office to the teachers once. So I'm going to open them up. I think they're going to be tiny, smaller than sunflower seeds. Put a couple in here. Oh yeah, they're very small. You see them? Little pieces of flowers. And just to make it interesting, I'm going to take out a tomato. You see this tomato? I'm going to cut it open because I know it's got seeds in it too. This is the part where you probably need your mom and dad to help you a little bit. So I can already see the seeds in that tomato, right? I'm going to scoop them out. Let's go back to our paper. This time I'm going to scoop them out, just like that. Spread them out maybe a little so we can spot the seed. Now I'm curious to see if that seed will grow. So I'm going to go like this, put the seed to bed, let it sleep. And when I want to peek at it, we'll open up the top and just look inside and see if we spot any roots coming out in the next few days. Might take a little while, might take a week or 2. Don't let it get dry though. If you see it getting dry, come back and put a little more water on it. Okay, the next one's a really fun one because this one is science, planting seeds, but also a craft because that's fun, right? I'm going to take our folders that we used last time too. And again, if you don't have a folder, remember we said you can always use a piece of box if you have a box at home. And we are going to make a greenhouse. That's the kind of thing that plants grow in. I think I'll use markers today. If you have crayons, you can use crayons. We're going to make a greenhouse, so you guys all know how to draw a house, right? You want a big one. I'm going to make this one about this big. Here's the roof triangle, right? There's my roof. And then I want a pretty fat house. To go down all the way to the bottom. That's my greenhouse. And here's what I'm going to do. Take my scissors. Oh, I have to grab my scissors. Hang on. And cut it. So far you need a stiff piece of material, something to draw. Could even just be a pencil. Scissors. trash. I'm gonna come down this way. It's my greenhouse. In my greenhouse, I'm gonna have my plants. So the way to turn it into a greenhouse where you can see plants, you're gonna wanna cut a big, fat door. Okay, so I'm gonna turn this to cut it. A big, fat door. There's my greenhouse. Then, just to make it beautiful, I'm going to go ahead and use some markers, and I'll go in here and I'll make flowers, and you can do them a lot of different ways, but boy, this is the easiest. Make a circle, and then just make a bunch of bumps. Rainbows, letter M's, whatever you want to call it. Maybe I'll change my color. I could do the circle one color. I could do the outside with more bumps that are a different color. Any way you want. To make it really pretty, you're probably going to want to go back and get colors to color it, right? Color on the inside. There you go. Okay. Now we need to figure out how to get the seed in here. And the way we're going to do that is with a plastic bag. That's what's going to be where our seed grows. Excuse me. And we're going to do the same thing. Use a paper towel. This time I recommend folding it this way. This is going to be where your seed grows, but of course it's not going to actually be able to grow in a paper towel. If you want to save your seed, you would have to take it outside. And of course it needs water, so I'm going to pour a little water on it. Get it wet. That's it. I will give you a little advice about these. They're going to act like a rain cycle. I'm going to put this wet paper towel in the bottom of your sandwich bag. It's already wet, right? And when it heats up, all these little drops are going to go up, 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 up until they get here. They're going to get stuck. And then at nighttime, when the air cools, they are going to drop back down. You won't have to water this again. It's going to be its own little rain cycle. As long as this is sealed. The only thing I notice is, if it doesn't get a little bit of air, the seeds can rot. So take one side of your bag and put a tiny, tiny little cut in it. There's my cut. That's going to let a little air into the seeds, because we don't want them to rot. They need air, they need water, they need sunlight, and eventually they need soil. For this one, let's put a couple of these seeds I got out of the garden. I'm kind of curious to see if I can get them to grow. There's one. There's another one. But I think I'll try a couple sunflower seeds too. These are not the sunflower seeds that people eat. Those have been cooked. And you will not be able to plant them. Cooked seeds won't grow. Okay. So we should be able to see some roots coming. We should be able to see some plants coming up. We can't grow them in the bag. If you had them in the bag and you wanted to keep them, you will have to take them out and put them in the garden. So here is your greenhouse. And we need to figure out a way, this greenhouse can hold the bag. Tape is probably the easiest. This tape will hold it on after you've closed it, right? This is really closed. I do notice this tape comes off sometimes. So if you have a stapler, that would be awesome. You're going to come in here and staple it. That'll for sure save. Mine got a little bit wet, but I'll turn it around. There's my greenhouse. But we're not done. We're going to put it in the window. And again, you can use tape to tape it into your window. If you have this kind of tape, that's awesome. It should hold it. I like this kind of tape. This is the kind of tape if your mom and dad are wrapping a package. It's really, really strong. Teacher Linda uses it a lot at school too. So I'm going to take a piece of this tape and I'm going to invite you to come to my window. Are you ready? Let's go. This is where we're going to put our greenhouse, and you're going to tape it up. And now you have a science experiment. This is my kitchen, but you could have a science experiment in your bedroom or science experiment anywhere in your house. We have a nice window, and you should be able to slowly start seeing these seeds grow. You'll see little sprouts come out of them. You'll see little leaves pop up the top, and they'll start to grow up here. You can put soil in it if you want to. If you have soil, that works great. If you want to use a paper towel and you have it in your house, that's great. And then the last thing I want to talk to you about is I'm hoping that some of you were able to save some of your food and plant it. And I put a little video at the beginning of the week inviting you to try. I did it. This was some lettuce that we had for Taco Tuesday when we ate tacos. And I put the lettuce in a little dog food container. My dog likes this dog food. I left the label in so you could see it. Actually, I usually take the label off though, because when I'm using it, I like to have it just be plastic. But that is lettuce that's regrowing. And then when I went to cook something the other day, I found this in my refrigerator. 2 little carrots that had gone to the back. These little carrots already have roots. Can you see that? They have been in there for a little while and they decided to grow. And look what was growing on the top of them. See the little leaves? So this is exactly what they were talking about in the video, that you can grow carrots from carrots. So let me go ahead and cut them. I would say this is your parents' job, right? They'll probably cut the carrot. You'll probably eat it, right? They'll eat that carrot for some kind of snack or a lunch. And then the little ones I'm going to put in here. Add a little water. And I think I am going to try an experiment with these guys. If they get bigger, I'm going to stick them in my garden and see if not only the top will grow, but the bottom will grow too, if I put them in my garden. Okay, I will say another great thing to do like this is to take a tomato. This kind of tomato is my favorite. You can just put it in soil and it will make its own little tomato plant. It's the easiest thing to do. It wants to grow. If you take this baby tomato with its seeds in, this is the one I didn't scoop out, you slice it in half like that, put it in some soil in a nice sunny spot, you will get a tomato plant. You might even get too many. You might have to pick the one that looks the strongest and just leave it there. But I invite you to try that if you have any soil outside your garden. Okay, happy planting. There's some way, somehow, that you can get something to grow in your house, even if it's carrots or lettuce, or if you can find seeds anywhere, even on a walk, and you find a nasturtium and you look underneath it and find some seeds, you'll find some seeds somewhere. Okay, take care. We'll see you later. Bye, Kinder Kids.